There was this one time in early 2023 when we were going to have one of the most important exams when it comes to my chemistry lessons. You see, you know how the molecules or like the elements in the periodic table, they have their shortcuts. So you have carbon, which is C, of course, you have nitrogen, which is N, and then there's like 100 of them. And we were going to have an exam dedicated to just purely the periodic table. And I know that for the English people watching this channel, who English is like their mother tongue, like their first language, this may not seem as hard on the first sight. But trust me, when you're from a foreign country that doesn't speak English as its first language, and plus, when in your language the names of the elements in the periodic table are completely different than those in Latin and in English, you're in for a very hard time. Like, of course, it isn't anything impossible to learn. It is just that it's gonna take you a fuck ton amount of progress and a fuck ton amount of effort to actually get it down. It is not something that you can just read like 5 times and then you'll succeed in it and you'll memorize all of it. At least that's what I thought so. Because, you see, in early 2023, this was like a couple of months before I actually went all out on my self improvement journey and started living according to the mindsets that I live by now on a daily basis. And before I started to improve my mental health as a whole. So before I started to discipline myself, improve my willpower, improve my focus, and all of these stuff. I was really lazy when it came to school because I subconsciously knew that I wasn't gonna stick there for the long term. Like, of course, I'm not saying that I won't graduate or anything. Of course, I'll still do that, but school just doesn't give me the same amount of fulfillment that I get from these self evolution activities. Like, for example, working on this YouTube channel, waking up at 5 a.m., exercising, practicing some kind of martial arts. You know what I mean? Just doing something that I choose to discipline myself over, not something that was given to me by some kind of government that doesn't even know that I exist and that doesn't even care about me or my mental health or my health in general or my financial status or my relationship status. You understand. And me, who just wanted to get to the feeling of not studying, finally out of my head, and finally being set free, he just looked at the periodic table like 5 times. I'm not joking. I read it like the night before, possibly like 5 times, and not more, not less. And I just decided to call it a day. And guess what I got from that exam? That's right, it was a 5, which is the worst grade in my country, which is like the F. But when I said that I was looking at it 5 times, I didn't mean that I just read it and I got it down in like 10 minutes. No, my friend. I was actually reading it and then I would spend so much of my effort trying to memorize it and like testing myself until I would get everything right. And that took like an hour probably. And also, I forgot to tell you this, but it wasn't just like single elements that were on the test. No, there were compositions like you have carbon dioxide, you know what I mean. And so I really failed at those. And when we finally got the test results, man, was I disappointed. Not just in the education system, like why just why just cannot be more fun? Why am I such a loser? Why don't I just feel that amount of effort? Like I want to actually dedicate some kind of time to it. Why do I need to discipline myself all the time? And I was also disappointed with myself. Is this really how I want this to be? What is causing me to not be motivated to like actually study and get good grades, even though it doesn't matter for the long term, like me being here at school, because I have bigger ambitions, of course. I still want to make the time that I will spend in school the most amount of fulfilling and the best time that I can think about. So, what is this mental barrier that I'm having? What causes me to think that whenever I try to study, I just won't succeed in it because the teacher will give us some kind of really hard task to complete and I won't be able to do it. Afterwards, you already know the drill. I went on my self evolution journey. I started to wake up at 5 a.m. I started to level up in my mental health, my physical health, my financial situation. I became more financially literate. I started to get better at talking to people, so improving my social intelligence, and I got more confident as the months went by. And it wouldn't be long by the time that exam would show up once again. Oh boy, it wasn't even like 6 months apart that the teacher gave us it once again. But this time, I have changed my mindsets. And I actually discovered a way of me finally learning effectively. It was to take the elements of the periodic table that I wanted to memorize the most, that I felt like were the most important out of them all. Because keep in mind, there are like 100 of them in the periodic table itself. And of course, you don't need to memorize something like the 114th period. No, no, no. You need to basically memorize everything. And by the time something like gold, so AU shows up, you don't need to go like further, or I think that's how it works. Basically, there's like 40 or 50 of them that you need to actually memorize. So, like, yeah, you got this in the back. So I wrote all of them down in my notebook and I meditated on them constantly. I did not just read them, I was basically like learning them every single day for a week in a row. And the chemical compositions, mm, we were already doing most of them on our chemistry classes. So I had most of them written down already, that I was just looking through them. The first time that I failed at the exam, I literally felt it like crying. It wasn't because I failed the exam itself, but it just got to show that how much I actually cared little for the lessons and for the subjects that I won't need in the future. Because, of course, I won't be graduating from chemistry, but not in a bad way, of course. Chemistry is a really fun subject. It is just that, hmm, I don't authentically feel like it. I'm gonna graduate from history. But it didn't exactly mirror the way of how I treated people that I did not need, as basically like me not caring about them in the first place, and not even trying to show any kind of effort to acknowledge that they exist and to actually treat them a little bit better. And this realization literally made me into the man that I am today. It was the starting catalyst when I finally got the motivation to start my self evolution journey. It was the main source of drive, of never wanting to see that F on my test card ever again. Like, sure, from listenings in my mother tongue, it was okay, but not this type of test. This was something that my other female classmates got A's effortlessly, and so I was gonna ace it or be it the next time that it was gonna come. And guess what? After I spent so much of this effort this time around, and after like 4 months of meditation, of discipline development, of willpower empowerment, of focus enhancement, I finally did it. After like 5 hours of actual patient work and actually putting some kind of energy into it, I got a B. It wasn't the best, of course, because if I truly no lifed it, like I just didn't watch any kind of YouTube and just spent all of my time actually putting so much effort into school, then yeah, sure, I would have gotten a 1 if I actually went through all of the mistakes of trying to make like my own chemical compositions and taking the lessons from them to see if I actually got them down right. If I did that, I could have gotten an A effortlessly. But as I already said, school isn't authentically fulfilling for me, so that's why I don't put that much effort into it to actually excel. But B is a nice grade to have around, so I'm okay when I get it from any kind of subject because at least it's not a C like I used to get them all the time on average. When it comes to making progress in anything, you will eventually hit a huge fat wall that you will need to overcome. Like, yeah, sure, by this point, before I got the first exam of the periodic table, I was living just fine. I was getting like B's from the exams that our teacher was giving us in the chemistry exams. And this was a huge wake up call, this huge roadblock that I needed to overcome, this insecurity that I wasn't gonna excel at the exams anymore, and that at any time she could just drop this exam on us once again, which wouldn't happen for like the next half a year, and that I would get fucked over once again. But guess what I did? I punched into the fucking wall and I created my own places to grab and to finally start climbing the wall. That symbolizes the progress of me, like actually fighting it and thinking about what could I do wrong, or how could I literally fix myself, my mindsets, my effort. What do I actually needed to do in order to destroy this insecurity and to finally overcome it? It was to actually put more effort into it, to make my own list of the most important periods, because writing it down actually doesn't make it just placed in your mental memory, but in your muscle memory also. It literally makes you remember it even easier. So whenever you run into a mistake, are you gonna run away from it like a literal pissed out girl? Or are you gonna literally take all of the testosterone that you have, take out your journal, and punch through that motherfucker? Are you gonna climb the fucking wall? Or are you gonna cry like the 99% of people when they get hit by something like this? When they cannot just charge forward? When they just cannot continue their monotone existence? They aren't living, they are surviving. But we are living, my friend. And so, if you want to continue to live to your fullest and become the best version of yourself, you need to face your challenges. You must not run away. You need to actually go through the discomfort of looking through your insecurities and looking what you can change about yourself. Okay? And plus, you just have nothing to lose. Like, yeah, sure, the 99% of people will make fun of you, but we are not like them. They're average. They will never accomplish anything. So why do you fear judgment from them? If you fail and you say something wrong, or you get a bad grade, I see that as such an empowering feeling. I want to shower in that feeling for the rest of my life. Whenever Lady Payne shows this side of her, I love her even more because she challenges me to become even better. She shows me what I'm bad at and what I can dedicate my time into to improve about myself, if that makes sense, of course. So you will get so many unexpected benefits when you actually dedicate yourself to be patient with anything, because good progress comes through patience only. Your discipline will go up, so you'll do even more hard work when you don't feel like it. You'll get more random knowledge that might be useful for you in the future, and you'll also become more creative. You'll find so many new creative solutions that you can use to solve future problems. There are no downsides to this. When you just dedicate your time to some kind of problem, then patience will reward you like there's no tomorrow. When you go against the majority, when you do something that other people will just wave their hand on and never try it in the first place, man, after some months of progress of doing this every single day, of, for example, starting an online business when everyone else is demotivating you to stop, bro, if you just continue to get more knowledge, like learn from books and implementing it into your online business, dude, you're gonna succeed eventually. It is not a matter of if, but a matter of when. If you want to join a community where we discuss our mental health and full of like minded men who share the same values as you, the same likes and dislikes, the same goals as you, who are becoming the best version of themselves every single day, and who will be in a state of healthy competition with you, but at the same time, they will give you knowledge whenever you need it, then you can join our Discord clan in the description. I know that if you're watching videos like these and willing to take action, then I know that you have way more potential than you think you have. So please harness it and stop being held back by the 99% of people who view mistakes as a bad thing. We will instead motivate you to get them solved, and we will help you solve it together. I know that you'll find your place in there, so please join us on the path to greatness. But besides that, you can like the video, you can subscribe if you like, join the email list in the description, and get yourself a free ebook about mindfulness. Comment on which part of the video you liked the most, and which part of the video you will implement in your daily life. Don't forget to join the clan, you're still invited, and become a part of the family. If you want to learn about the mindsets that guarantee you success in anything and that will truly make you mentally invincible, then go have a look into Timeless Readers' Mindsets. It is truly something life-changing. And with that being said, thank you very much for watching this video, and remember, no one is better at being you